We've been talking about new shows on Maisha Magic Plus on DSTV and GOTV, right? One of them premieres next week on the 23rd of October, 8:30 p.m. and it'll be airing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then take a break over the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take a break over the weekend. CT catches up like that. This is how it happens. This is how CT now does it.
Watch, get tired, sleep, wake up, watch. By the time you get to Monday, you watch everything.
Kabisa.
You wait.
In the evening you start again.
Yes, then you wait. Weekend.
Watch. Yes, you can catch up with them if you actually download my GoTV or my DSTV app. Dial *423#. So you can watch the shows on Maisha Magic Plus wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You can catch up with all the shows that you've missed just by using my GoTV or my DSTV app. Download it, *423#. So let's talk about the one for next week, Zari. Okay, there are several characters in Zari. One of them is called Frida, and another one is called Dylan, and there are other characters, but those two are in the studio. Their true names, real names, are Dennis Musyoka acting as Dylan in the show, and Angie Magio acting as Frida on the show. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now, should I call you Dylan and Frida, or should I call you Angie and Dennis? I don't know. Or one or the other. Dennis, a.k.a.
That's good.
That works better.
That works.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation, the two of you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Good. Thank you very much for joining us. CT has the day's proverb. He's going to welcome you to the conversation with a proverb from Rwanda.
Yes, not just Rwanda, it's the Republic of Rwanda. Okay? Now, you may not know this, but it's the most densely populated mainland African country.
Really?
Yes. Sixth most densely populated country in the world. The first one is, well, Eric keeps nitpicking and telling me those are principalities. Yes, they are. Macau, Monaco, Singapore, Hong Kong, Gibraltar, then Rwanda. But if you look at these ones, they're not very far from the sea. Rwanda is landlocked. Yes.
Bang, right there.
Yes, the proverb. You hide the fact that you hate me. I hide the fact that I know.
Works very well with the actors. Isn't it?
No, in fact, you act that we are friends on screen. And
In real life, I really hate you.
in real life, man, I can't stand you. But I will pretend.
I'll smile.
Yeah, when we go on set, we're bosom buddies. In fact, we're a couple.
Yeah.
But
Offset.
when the director says cut,
I can't stand you.
I cut.
I mean,
Yeah.
but Angie, what do you think the Rwandese are saying with this? What's the interpretation of it? What's the deeper meaning
The deeper meaning of
this proverb?
This one. You hide the fact that you hate me. I hide the fact that I know.
I think that's the reality in life. I think it's happening everywhere, not just on set. I think everyone is living that life. I think that's what I think. Anyway,
You cannot be wrong so long as it's what you think. You're good. As I say, you're good to go.
yeah.
Yes.
Dennis, what's yours?
Well, to me, life is a game of chess. I'm always planning on being a few steps ahead of you. You know, you think what you think I'm thinking. Hiyo ni yako. But it's important to realize that you may not understand what the other person knows about you or is thinking about you, but be careful. They probably know that you know who you are, what you are to them. What's important is, do you know what they think you know? They know about you. You understand me? Yeah. It's deep, very deep. See, that's CT, classic CT.
Proper, huh? Classic city.
That's classic.
And you know him for many years.
All my life.
Decades. You know, you say years. We've known each other for decades.
Decades.
Literally decades.
What?
Literally.
CT was my senior in school. We still call him senior. Yes. You went to school.
Oh.
Yeah. Confirmation.
Works. Nyinyi, msikia?
So he was your bully in school?
Actually, no. You know, CT's brother was my classmate, and he saved me from a few situations. I owe him big time.
See, naysayers.
You're the peacemaker.
Yes.
This man was in business, I'm sure. Anyway, let's get to the conversation about Zari, the show.
Yes.
Angie, what's this show about? It's premiering next week, Monday, on Maisha Magic Plus.
The show is about, it revolves around Mzee Balozi. Okay, he's not so much into the show, but the introduction part is about Mzee Balozi and his servants. So he has a daughter who happens to be in a relationship with one of his enemies, I'd say Mr. Dylan. Mr. Dylan gets Harriet pregnant. So Mr. Balozi doesn't like her. It's a shame to him, yeah? So he decides to...
How old is Dylan?
Dylan, how old were you?
Oh, let's just say I was of age.
Okay.
We were both of age.
Okay.
So after Harriet gets pregnant, when he gives birth, Mr. Balozi gives away this child to one of his servants. Now, the servant who was given this child happens to be my husband. Because he didn't want the shame, so he gives his child, his daughter, his granddaughter to Bosco, so that we can raise this child. So we raise him alongside our biological daughter.
Okay.
Yes.
So Bosco is the one who works for Baraza.
For Balozi.
For Balozi, yes.
Yes.
Bosco works for Balozi.
Yes.
And what does Frida do?
Frida is a housewife.
And she raises his child.
Yes.
At the point when we are seeing the show, is this child an adult or is the child a baby?
Yeah, 25 years later, Mzee Balozi comes to claim his granddaughter. Unfortunately, things happen. We make our own plans. Things don't go the way Mr. Balozi had planned. Things go the way we want. Yeah.
Twists and turns.
25 years, a long time.
It's a long time. Even to establish a relationship with this child.
You know,
The child is, at that point, their
An
child.
adult. And it's their child.
Grown-up girl. Of course, Frida here, that's her name. The show, she's the schemer. Balozi has come to claim his child, but as she says, things happen. We won't give out too much information. And suddenly, she's planning the future of the whole show.
She has her own game.
Oh, she's a schemer par excellence.
well, she did give us a warning. She was a housewife. Yes, she has time on her hands.
Oh, yes.
She can scheme. She can
No wonder
think.
she loved that proverb. She could immediately connect.
She,
I connected immediately.
Actually, it embodies her totally. Yes,
Completely.
totally.
Where did the idea for the show come from, Taylor?
Do you know?
No idea.
Okay. How did you get onto the show, Dennis?
Rashid Abdallah called me one evening and told me that there's a show that he thinks, there's the role in this new show that he feels I fit in. I've worked with him before. We did Maria. We have done. We worked on Zora. So
Rashid Abdallah, Sisemi Kitu.
Sisemi Kitu.
Rashid Abdallah.
Rashid Abdallah. Sisemi Kitu. Sisemi Kitu. He calls me one evening, and then Lulu Hassan also follows up that call. So I meet them, and I saw the script, and I loved it. Yeah, so here we are.
How long does it take to actually, internalize such a script, to start filming such a script for the first episode to get ready? And
that would vary from actor to actor. I think I read the first 5 one evening. I couldn't put it down. That's how interesting the script is. Then getting into the role, that took me a day or two, but getting the words, the script memorized and then personalized, it takes me about an hour, 2 hours.
Okay, so this is interesting because usually, there's the script writers. They've put this. So there's the idea of the story,
Yes.
right? The storyteller, essentially. Then you have the script writers who now take this idea and they put it into words.
Yes.
So now yourselves as actors, you read the script, or for the individual that you will then be playing, whose role you'll then be playing. I've always wondered, do you then really have to memorize, because they have lines, do you have to memorize word for word what the scriptwriter has put down, or are you looking to be an embodiment of this character? So then you basically enter into the essence of the character and then make up your own words as you go along, or must you actually memorize word for word what the scriptwriters have put down?
You don't have to memorize word by word. If you do that, then you'll get lost in the way. If you
I would imagine.
forget one word, you
Yeah.
forget the whole sentence. As long as you know the concept, you know what you're supposed to put out there, then it becomes so easy. As long as you know what you're supposed to say. Yeah.
I have been on productions with producers directors who insist on the verbatim,
Stick to the script.
really
Regurgitate.
regurgitation of, and to me that is not. They are not. It's not challenging for me. It's just I'm just regurgitating.
Yeah.
But when some directors, like we are lucky, it's a Jiffy. You have leeway. They let you do your thing. It's your interpretation of this character, and you know what the writers were, what they wanted out of you, and you give it, you make it just your own.
Yeah.
So many times when I'm asked this question, what is acting like? I say I'm not really acting. I'm just being myself, because that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it exciting to see a lot more scripts coming out that can then be acted for on a local level? And then also, of course, then putting it on a platform that goes to the continent. Because yes, we have Nollywood coming out of Lagos and Abuja. There is, coming out of South Africa and coming out of Cape Town and Johannesburg. Big time coming out of Nairobi now. For me, it's really exciting to see that more and more actors are filling these roles for people who are on the other side of the camera, right? Actors. Is it exciting to see that more scripts like this are coming out that then will be put on platforms where the showcase of Kenya's talent then now actually is coming through?
That's a good question. I've been in the industry for a long time, and I was there at the tail end of Mzee Pembe, etc., etc. Things have changed, and they're changing. What's happening today is really exciting. The number of local productions, the new shows, the amount of talent we have in this country is amazing. And I think it's important that we give ourselves this opportunity to showcase our talent and create employment. What's happening right now is wonderful, and the more local talent shows we have, the better. And the space is opening up, which is a great thing. Yes.
There's theatre.
Yes.
We have a fair amount of theatre production in this country. Do the two marry? Those of you who we see on the screen and those who act on stage. Do you mix the two?
I think they can marry. I used to be a stage actor, and it was very easy for me to get into screen. So I think it's basically the same thing, I would say, for me. I don't know about Dennis, but for me it is. There's just a minimal difference.
I want to hear about this minimal difference.
Now, what you do on stage, it's like when you stage, you have to project more. You have to do a lot more things. You have a lot of actions. But on screen, we minimize all this. So that's the difference, I would say.
So screen gives you an opportunity to just do like what we're doing now, just talking. Whereas you're saying when you're on stage, a little more animation, a little more.
And on screen also, we need emotion.
Facial.
Yes, exactly.
It's exaggerated. Screen, you exaggerate your movements, your sound projection, things like that. And screen, on stage is one take. it's one take. What you're doing is what goes, on
That's
there,
it.
right?
You mess up.
But on TV, you can
Do as many
you can
takes.
take,
Yes.
yes, you can have 500 takes. So I think to answer your question, I think the stage is the breeding ground for television.
Yes.
That's the school for television. But then, of course, TV is more. Your facial expressions, your body language is slightly different. Yeah.
Take us on to a set, actually. How many people work in a set, say, for this Zari show? So who do you have? You have a script writer, director, I don't know, lights,
Okay.
camera. Ooh. How many people are there?
There's the producers and the writers who are offset.
Yeah.
And all the other people, the people you don't see, the drivers, the
writers.
cooks, they're very important. So we must eat. But on the set proper, you have the sound people, the lighting people, you have the camera,
directors.
you have the continuity people, you have makeup.
Continuity, what do they do?
Just imagine I walk in wearing this coat, and then I walk out wearing another one. That will shock you, won't it?
Yeah.
It will.
This person must know what I was wearing, or this pen must be exactly there.
Okay.
In cut 1, cut 2, cut
Yes.
3.
Okay, let me just get this.
Yes.
So, for instance, continuity
Yes.
movie.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this car has rammed into, and there's a car chase.
Yes.
And when it's rammed in, there's a huge dent.
Yes.
Then you look at another set, the car is moving along, there's no dent.
Yes.
But it's the same car. So continuity are the ones who make sure that dent
Oh, yes.
is
Still
continuous.
Yes.
And that continuity person should not continue working there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people there. There's the costume people, very important. Then there's the
What do they do, these costume people?
they dress you.
Yeah. The dress bit, unless it's a nude movie, but I get it. What I'm saying is, let me rephrase my question. Are they the ones who determine whether the dress code matches the character that the movie is supposed
Absolutely.
to portray?
Absolutely.
There's also the stylist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
there's-
what do they do?
Now, the stylist is the one who knows this Frida is supposed to be dressed this way. She talks to the wardrobe people, and then you need to get these outfits for Frida. They are supposed to look this way. She's not supposed to wear maybe trousers or what,
She can't be in stilettos. She's a housewife.
No,
She's a
exactly,
housewife.
So housewife harusi kuva mini. Okay. Yes.
And she's these people are many scenes, many episodes ahead of you.
Right.
Otherwise, the show won't stop. For example, our show is a 1-hour show, which is the first. 1 full hour of shooting is a lot of work.
Yes.
People will see that and think, oh, this was 45 minutes of air time. It took several probably a week to shoot that one episode.
Yeah.
Take us through that. What happens in a whole week when you're shooting just 60 minutes? Surely.
The producers are there, the camera work is there, continuity is there.
Kuna mtu alienda strike.
The amount of work that goes in is amazing.
Tell us about this work.
Okay, average day, we turn up on the
Call time.
Call time is 6.
Okay.
6:30 we are on the set. We're having breakfast, and then we go into makeup for the ladies. I don't have much, my kipara. Then you're called. The first scene, you go through the script. There's a technical run through. The director then directs you. I want you to do A, B, C, D. I want it done this way.
We are not filming yet.
No.
Just conversation.
He's just directing. He's doing what he does best.
Okay.
Then the final checks. You dressed properly, that kind of thing. They test their mics and their sound. Light has to be perfect, etc., etc. Then you take the first take, and We do several.
Yeah.
You can do, you can do one take. It can be done 3-4 times. Then they change the camera, positions, etc., etc. It's a process
Until they're satisfied.
until he's satisfied.
And that's where, again, now, Angie, the question comes. So, take one, as you said, you're not going word for word verbatim on the script. You're ad-libbing somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you remember what you said by the time you're being told to take 10 and you're tired and you're frustrated and sometimes you're just thinking, this person is annoying?
That's why you have to use your words. It becomes easier if you use your words because you remember them easier. And then I'm sure by the third take, of course, these words have stuck. And before we start shooting, we have to make sure everyone has their words.
Do you exist in character for the duration of filming, for example? I would imagine that, okay, so you're Frida, and then you're then Angie. Would it be easier for you to just be this
Frida
person,
throughout.
to be Frida throughout, so that you don't fall out of character? Or do you find that you can make that, split?
Yes,
Or you
I
have to
can.
find yourself continually saying, okay, well, look, I need, this is how I ought to be, or do you forget?
No, once the director says action, I'm Frida. When he says cut, I'm Angie. It's like I'm switching on and off a button.
But would you find it easier to find yourself thinking like Frida to make it easier in the acting? See what I mean? Or does it, because you've done it so long, you're like, okay, doesn't matter, I can switch.
No, I can switch.
Oh,
I've done it so long, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm always getting these evil characters. I'll call them evil characters. Yes. So it's very easy.
And that's not you, is it?
It's not me.
They-
So you've seen me, I'm very quiet.
They
I'm
just
not even-
cast you like for this evil.
I can vouch for that. I can vouch for
But Dennis,
pretending?
but Dennis,
I know.
there's always been this question with regards to this delightful career that the two of you have, and that is merging someone's natural personality with a character in a movie. Or are we saying that the versatility then of somebody who's a thespian, such as yourself, is then measured in how they're able to actually chameleon-like change and be this person on call, without that necessarily reflecting on who they are?
Okay. When in casting, the casting director and the producer, they know us. It's not a very big industry. They know who can best portray a certain character. That's why Angie gets the evil lady, the evil mother character always. I get the wealthy man. I don't know why.
Bro, you look wealthy. I mean, if you haven't been told, let me tell you, you look like
Rich uncle.
yes.
Always. And they tend to typecast us, that kind of thing.
Yes.
But I like your chameleon analogy. We can change rather quickly from just being Dennis Musyoka to Dylan Kabarage.
That's interesting. Do people expect you to be mean when they see you than outside of cast?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
She
I'm hated out there, actually.
she nearly gets
Because of your
slapped.
character. Then you're a good actor.
No, then you're a very
They're
good actor.
very good actor. Yes, you can.
Let's take a break. 28 minutes to 8. Kenya's Biggest Conversation is hosting 2 of the cast of Zari, which will be showcasing from next week, Monday the 23rd, premiering on Maisha Magic Plus on DSTV and GOTV. Angie Magio acts as Frida and Dennis Musyoka acts as Dylan on this particular show. Is it Dylan? Is it Dylan? The people keep changing.
Dylan.
It's Dylan Kabarage.
Yes.
Okay, others will call you Dylan.
Dylan, yes, Wile Dylan.
Ule Dylan, ule. Time for a break. We'll be back shortly. Good morning.
Spice.
2, Act 1. Take 2. Okay, we continue with the cast of Zari. Angie Magio acts as Frida on this particular show that's premiering next week on Monday on Maisha Magic Plus on DSTV. And remember, you can catch up with DSTV just by dialing *423# and you download my DSTV app or my GoTV app. And that helps you to catch up with them. So wherever you are, you can actually watch the shows on Maisha Magic Plus, or you can catch up with episodes that you missed on Maisha Magic Plus. Now, Dylan, that is Dennis Musyoka, has stepped out, and in comes Elisha Kamau, who's the PR manager at Multichoice Kenya. Elisha, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
So happy to be here.
Very good. Straight into it. 2 new local productions on Maisha Magic Plus in October. And you've been having new ones every so often. Take us through the thinking of Multichoice Kenya and Maisha Magic Plus on this.
So thank you so much for having me here. So as Multichoice Kenya, we are so happy to introduce 2 new shows. So this is part of our strategy to ensure that Kenyans consume more local content. So we have widened up access to local premium content to more customers, so that they're able to enjoy and appreciate shows such as Zari, which premieres next week. So this is part of our campaign called Tumefungulia Magic. Literally, we are opening and widening more access to this local content, especially with our actors, with our actresses. They've spent so much time, so much hours, and so this is one of the opportunities that we have for Kenyans to ensure that they consume more content.
How many local shows are currently airing on Maisha Magic Plus?
We have produced over 50, local shows. Some even have it's a series like over 100 episodes. So, for example, we have Kina Kovu, Salem or Sister, and much more, really. So there's quite a lot that we have done on this particular front to support the local film industry. Yep.
When you talk about Kina, Jimmy Gath works here. And he acts on Kina. It's a very good show. It's big. It's award-winning.
You know, I'm curious.
Yeah.
All your shows tend to have just one name. Not like some other shows which have Once Upon a Time in Karatina, that sort of thing.
Once Upon a Time in Karatina?
No,
There's a title for you.
That's a good one.
Is there a reason why?
So, we try to make our shows have names that people relate to. So simple, relevant, catchy names that are easily rememberable. So you'd find Kina, you'd find Oh Sister,
Kovu.
The Swahili words.
Zari.
We are in Kenya, Zari.
Kasiri. Tomorrow.
What process do you go? What process do you actually take producers through to select what you want and maybe what will not work for Maisha Magic and others?
So it's a rigorous process. So we have a portal on the website. So if you have an idea, we welcome you to submit the ideas. Then it goes through the rigorous process of selection in terms of the idea that we would like to pick for Maisha Magic Plus. And then it's selected, then it goes through the official process, and then the winners are announced, and so on, so on. Yeah.
So say CT now goes onto the website and says, I have an idea, Once Upon a Time in Karatina. It's a very good show. It's going to be, this one will win you awards, and tells you all those things. So what do you call them in and tell them?
So we call in the application. So it's a call for applications.
Okay.
So a call for applications. You go in there. Say you have Once Upon a Time
in Karatina.
Looks like we love that. Then you,
it has an evil character. And we know who's gonna be cast in that.
Then you kind of narrate how you see it flowing and the thought process behind it and what it would take and the storyline and everything. Then from a back-end perspective, we'll go through it and analyze the process and finally get to pick what we feel aligns well.
Okay. When you pick, what does that mean? Are you buying the idea from CT, or are you telling CT will fund you to produce it?
So, for example, we normally work both ways. So, for example, we get the content, of course, partner with them and work with them. For example, like Jiffy, Rashid Abdallah. So partner with him to produce the content. So he'd get the actors, the actresses, and handle that on his end. And from our end, for example, we'd air the shows on Maisha Magic Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any role that you play in anything else that he's doing there? Like, no. I didn't like Angie in the last one, so you can't pick her for this one. Do you have any veto power? Can you tell the directors or the producers who to work with?
You see, the directors and producers really are the heroes for these particular shows, yeah? So they know the best actresses, they know the best actors for this particular show, based on the scripts and the storyline that we want to sell. Yeah. So obviously, but we're in touch with them. We obviously review and align whether it relates with the kind of story we want to tell. Yeah.
You talk about being deliberate about the local film industry.
Yeah.
And then also creating these opportunities whereby local actors, directors, I mean, the entire crew, cast, ecosystem essentially, it gets an opportunity to showcase, but at the same time, uplifting profile of, you know, this particular sector. I mean, I'm all for using different sectors to essentially push up the profile of an entire nation besides what government can do.
Yeah.
Do you see that as you do this, as you entrench this a lot more, then you've actually then lifted, can you see a direct impact on the industry by the establishment of these shows, by airing these shows, by inviting, you know, more of, you know, calls for application? Do you see that it has a direct impact on how the industry has flourished?
Absolutely. We are seeing a rise in appetite of local content consumption. I mean, shows such as Kina was the most watched show in the last couple of years. Zari, which we begin premiering on Monday, will take it a notch higher. So more and more we are seeing the industry grow. More and more we are seeing more actors, young actresses wanting to get into this space, to answer your question. And it means as a sector, as an industry, we are really supporting growth, the ecosystem. Yeah.
Angie, some feedback for you. Somebody, Geraldine Ochieng, says, I once hated Angie so much. She really becomes her character so well. So congratulations. Already there are people who hate you for real because of how you act. When you're called, let's say you're told there's this new production that we are coming up with and we'd like to cast you for it. Are there those that you look at the script and you feel, damu yangu, haijapenda hii, and you say no?
Not really. Sijawahi pata a script ambayo imenisumbua. Actually, they've all been challenging. Even for this one, when Lulu called, I asked her, am I playing an evil role? She said, not really. But it's going to be a very nice script. And she told me the synopsis and I loved it. So basically, I've never gotten a role that I didn't like or a script that I didn't like. They've all been fun, I would say.
Is it the scripts that are fun, or is it you who has an adaptable mind?
I think they are fun also. They're very good scripts, yes.
They're good scripts?
Yes.
Okay.
How does this all make you want to encourage others who are coming up? So that's part one of that question. And do you find yourself then wanting to learn more to then be better in this particular craft? And then those who are coming behind, because that's the thing, isn't it? That there are always people who are coming behind and you want to grow the industry. How do you see that those roles, those spots can also be open for those who are coming into the space?
First and foremost, these people who are coming up, actors, I think they think it's easy. They just want to get up and get on screen, but it's not easy. First, I'll tell them to go do auditions. Most people don't like auditions. I've been acting for a long time. I don't like auditions. So many people just want to come in.
What don't you like about auditions?
It's very stressful. And then you get there, and then I think there's that fear of getting rejected. Personally, that's my number one fear. And I've been rejected numerous times. Despite having acted for such a long time, I still get rejected.
Is it really rejection, or is
it's a mismatch?
We call it rejection, I think, because you don't get that chance. So it's not in a bad way. But we understand it is because I don't fit that role.
Many will be casted, one will be picked.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
What I'm thinking of is, what if you're dealing with people who don't have the ability to make good choices?
Jump over the assumption. Casting director knows what they're doing.
They all know.
The director knows.
So you're telling the young ones, embrace going for auditions.
Yes.
What else?
That is the first step. And it's not easy. They just have to not give up, and they'll get there someday. We all started somewhere. I never knew that I'll get on screen. but somehow I got there. So it's just a matter of time. And then some of us will be going out, hopefully maybe we'll be behind the cameras. We don't want to be on screen every time. We want to be maybe the crew, we want to produce, we want to do other things. So there's always space coming up.
Angie, 2 questions. 1, pay. Even as you talk about now, is there graduated pay? For example, Angie is experienced, so obviously there is a minimum that she deserves. And even Multichoice knows that. Even Rashid Abdallah, when he's calling you, and Lulu Hassan, they know this is the level of Angie. And then there's the entry level, where you're telling somebody, if you're starting off, surely if you're paid X, that's where you belong.
No, she's talking with amounts. No. Don't
Not amounts.
Don't be specific about amounts.
I won't talk about
But
amounts.
it's clearly above minimum wage, isn't it? Okay. So.
But is it different? Like, would you feel that somebody who has 2 years experience, I mean, they just started acting this thing and I've been here for so long, we are earning the same?
No, they can't definitely earn the same. Yeah. And then there's also the role that you're playing. If it's
So
a big
what is
role,
it based on? What's the pay based on? Is it experience? Is it the character? Is it the role that you're playing?
I think different producers come up with different pays, but mostly it's about the experience and then the role also. Yeah.
Second question is, okay, so sorry, you wanted to say something on that?
No, I
Elisha.
just wanted to chime in there and say, of course, experience and the role that each character plays. There are those characters that are the main characters and other characters, I don't call them minor, but they're not they're just support characters, yeah?
Okay. The second question, Angie, is we've seen conversation all over the world, from Hollywood and everywhere, on harassment, especially for female casts. That, you're coming in and you're told, now this one, because of who you are, you've got to talk to the producers in a certain way, you've got to align yourself with the producer for you to get a role. Do you experience such kind of issues in our market? Have you heard of such complaints where people say, you know what, there's actually a producer who has been blacklisted by actors because of how they behave?
Yeah, I used to hear a lot about it years back, but personally I've never experienced it, and I'm glad that I've been taken on because of my talent. But I've heard that there are people who do that, but I've never experienced it. Yes, yeah.
Have
there
you
are
heard of
producers
that,
who,
Elisha?
you have to do this to get this. Yeah.
Elisha, have you heard of that?
No.
Have you heard complaints of such? I mean, what would you do as an industry to make sure that you rid it of such? Is it starting a Me Too campaign in Kenya?
I think first and foremost, these actors need to know their worth. You don't have to be desperate to get a role. It'll just come up somehow, someday. You don't have to go do anything with the producer or the directors or anything to get a role.
Do you have an actors or a guild, a union for thespians such as yourself?
Yeah, there are guilds. There's the Kenya Actors Guild. It's in Nairobi actually, but it's considered it involves all actors from Nairobi, Mombasa, everywhere. And then there's another one that was introduced recently. It's also in Nairobi, and these ones, they want to fight for actors. I hope this time it's going to work because it's not been very easy as actors. There are guilds and there are unions, but we don't get to get what we get promised. But there's this new one that, we are hopeful it'll get us somewhere in terms of the red cards and the payments and the treatments, everything.
So when you talk of the guild, you talk of the unions, are the numbers increasing? I ask because from what I observe, more specifically in social media, there's an entire opening up of this industry in vernacular as well. So is it all encompassing, or is it just people who one sees on the silver screen, or is it, how does it work?
Okay, for this, the recent one that we're doing, we have right now, it's only taking people who've been in the industry, who are called professional actors. Who are professional actors? Professional actors are people who get paid for being actors. Like I get paid for being in Zari, not just because I have a dream or I'm hoping to be an actor, I'm aspiring. No, you're not considered a professional actor.
So there are such people. There are so professionals and amateurs.
Yes.
So what's the motivation for women acting if you're not acting
It's
to be
because
paid?
with the professionals, we are sharing experiences. There are different groups, yes, but this one, it's for those who are professional, who are already working, who have different experiences, the challenges. It is easier. We share what we have experienced. You can't bring someone who's never experienced and expect them to say whatever experience they've had.
I can see that as a challenge then for those who are up and coming. And so maybe, would you say, Elisha, that Multichoice then is in a unique position to continue to create or to have a platform whereby that particular gap is filled? Because if I have to get to the place of professional in order to be able to earn for this trade that maybe I've gone to school for, that I have an innate talent or an ability to then perform, but if I cannot earn from it, then it's a bit daunting, really. So would you say there's a unique opportunity that Multichoice will be able to fill, or any other platform that would then come in and say, you know what, here we are, and we can create a platform whereby there can be a showcase of talent, and then working with producers, producing outfits, then you can guarantee that somebody who has the skill, somebody who has the knowledge, information through education, then can actually come in, and you have that transition whereby as you climb up the stairs towards professionalism, you are able to earn for your skill.
Absolutely. So at Multichoice, we have what we call the Multichoice Talent Factory. So we are building the next cohort of producers and directors, just to support the gap that is there, and more as we move along, we'll have more producers, more directors, so that we grow the industry. So what happens, we train them, so they enroll, we train them for a whole year. Together Kenya with other countries, we train them. Then these actually producers, they're the people that have produced, for example, Njorowa Uba, Kina, Kovu. So as we go along, we'll have many more people producing local shows. Yeah.
Njorowa Uba is on to a new season, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody has actually commented that they've noticed with almost every new show that's coming on to Maisha Magic Plus, they see a new faces.
Yeah.
Like the faces who are on the ongoing show are not necessarily going to be the faces that on the new show. Is that a deliberate policy that you tell your producers, as you start here, please avoid going for the top characters in the next show? For example, now when Zari premieres next week, we're basically saying that Angie will not appear on another one because for the next.
No, each show is unique, really. By the time they're curating the scripts and everything, each show is unique, yeah.
Because I'd imagine, I would imagine, I don't want to see Zari on Kasiri at 7:30. And then at 8:30, I'm seeing same. Angie on Kasiri at 7:30, and then Angie on Zari at 8:30. I'd be like, okay, surely. She's an Angie Magic Plus.
Yeah.
Would there be such a policy? Would you, if you actually were confronted with such, would you make a decision?
I mean, each show is unique. By the time they're building the scripts for Zari and Kasiri and many more shows, I mean, we know Angie will feature in Zari, we know Dylan will feature in Zari, and such kind of scenarios. So we look at this to minimize those kind of episodes. Yeah. Yeah.
This particular industry, as you see it grow, where do you see it heading to? Well, I'm benchmarking it against Bollywood, Nollywood, Hollywood. We've seen how far-flung they have spread their wings. Where do you see this one of ours heading to?
The local film industry, we've come of age, really. If you think about it, remember the times of Tausi, Tahamaki. And how many years later, where are we? We are talking about the Njorowa Ubas, we are talking about Kina, and
many shows.
Many more local shows. So in the last decade or so, we've seen an upsurge of local content consumption, one, and production, two. And the future is bright in these particular sectors.
How do we measure consumption? It's your Multichoice. How do you know that these?
How do you know, for example, that Kina was the most watched?
I mean, we're able to see that from our perspective in terms of the same way you'd say, how do you measure how many people listen to Spice FM on a day? It's the same kind of analogy here, yeah? So we'll be able to see how many people will watch the first episode of Zari premiering on Monday. Same analogy.
So the viewership,
Yeah.
now, since in this industry that we're in,
Yeah.
is not too far away from yours,
Yeah.
how do you ensure that beyond what exists as the breeding ground for the future of actors in this country, how do you ensure that they meet the competitive standards so that beyond being in Kenya, they can cross our boundaries and ply their trade beyond?
Yeah, as I alluded to earlier on, we go through a rigorous process, especially when we call for entries. So it's not, I have an idea, come to Spice FM, are you willing to run with my show? No. It's a very rigorous process so that we are competitive, not just in Kenya, but even globally. So that even our actors are appreciated, our actresses are appreciated. So it's a very rigorous process. To answer your question, yeah.
Interesting. So we're looking forward to watching you on the premiere of Zari on Maisha Magic Plus next week on Monday, 8:30 p.m. And then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday.
Absolutely.
And then Monday again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll catch it on Maisha Magic Plus from Monday, the 23rd of October. Angie Magio acting as Frida, Dennis Musyoka acting as Dylan on that show, plus very many other good characters on the show.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it, you can catch it on Maisha Magic Plus. DSTV channel what?
163.
And GOTV?
3.
Okay. And if you want to download my GOTV and my DSTV app?
In fact, just go to Play Store, iOS, download DSTV Stream, subscribe and put in your details there. Then you'll be able to watch the first episode.
All right.
Absolutely.
Very good. Elisha Kamau is a PR manager at Multichoice Kenya, and Angie Magio acting as Frida, Dennis Musyoka acting as Dylan. Good morning. Conversations continue in the next hour.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.